Thinking about buying a home but not sure where to start? Do you really need a buyer's agent? Well, stick around because in today's video, I'm going to show you how to hire a real estate agent, the one that's perfect for you. Hi, I'm Amy Clark with Cry Realtors. Welcome back to Living in Memphis in the Mid-South. I help buyers and sellers navigate the overwhelming, sometimes crazy world of real estate here in Memphis and beyond. If you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe, tap the bell for notifications, share the video with somebody so that you'll be the first to know everything there is happening in Memphis and the Mid-South. Why you need a buyer's agent? Well, there's several reasons why having someone on your side protects the buyer, protects you when you're buying an agent. There's expert guidance on our side. We go through lots of training, all realtors do. We have negotiation power, and we also protect you from yourself sometimes, which means we have a fiduciary duty to you, where your best interest comes first. Whether it's pointing out red flags or helping you understand complex contracts and negotiation and things like that, I'm here to help you. So, talking about fiduciary duty, let's talk about working with a real estate broker and what is my duty to you. My duty to the buyer is a fiduciary duty of loyalty, confidentiality, obedience, disclosure, full accounting, care, skill, and diligence, all lawful duties. And to the seller and the buyer, I have a duty of fair and honest dealing. What does a buyer's agent do for me? Well, first of all, we get to know you. The first thing we need to do is I'm gonna be your best friend for the next 30, 45 days, maybe longer. So we need to get to know each other. You need to like me. That really is a big issue. You've got to like me. You've got to like any agent. You gotta interview a few of them, decide which one meshes with your personality the best, and we go from there. So we're gonna build a relationship. I need to know what you need out of a house. I need to know what your lender is, if you have a lender, if I need to get you a lender, if we need to work on basics. And we're gonna start by preparing the buyer for buying a house with confidence, calm, collective, the whole deal. We're gonna make sure that you have the courage, the skills, and everything you need to know in your corner to make a confident offer and get to that closing table, get the keys, and move into your new house. So we're gonna start by building a relationship. And I do that by sitting down with buyers, every single one of them. I want to sit down, I want to have a conversation with you, and I want to know what you need out of this relationship. So we're going to start off with our counseling sessions and explain to you the buyer representation agreement, how I get paid, what my loyalties and duties and obligations are to you. Then we're going to build a relationship, and then we will start by finding your checklist, your buyer's checklist, what you need, what you can and can't live without, but finding the right home. So finding the right home is up to you. I am here to support you. I am here not to make decisions for you. So finding the right home. Well, you've probably already found your home. What am I gonna do? Just open the door, let you in? That's a big joke in the real estate industry, that buyer's agents only open doors and show you around after you've already found the home on Realtor.com or Zillow or Redfin or wherever you're looking for these houses. But yeah, I'll take your wish list into account. I can search out different things. A lot of times when I'm working with buyers, their interest, their needs really aren't developed until we start seeing a few houses. So yes, I'll show you the house, we'll get you in, I'll schedule the showings, I can rearrange that kind of thing. I can give you a market analysis. So what is a market analysis? Well, that is me pulling out the facts that of all the houses that have previously sold within a certain amount of time, maybe 3 to 6 months, what's really happening in this neighborhood. We don't want you to overpay for a house. So by knowing that the similar size house, similar age, similar property sold for $400,000. Well, you don't want to be paying $500 for yours, you want to be paying around $400 for yours. So that's what a comparative analysis is. It'll give you the number of bathrooms, the number of square footage, it'll tell you what it sold for, how recently it sold. And you know, appraisers look at those things too, because they don't want you to overpay for a house. So that's what a comparative market analysis is. So that's one of the things that I can do for you. Well, we'll manage all the paperwork for you. So that's a big deal. It always starts out with paperwork and it ends with paperwork. So realtors use a lot of trees around here, these parts. So we do a lot of stuff electronically too. So I can send you the paperwork for signatures in your inbox, in your email. You can sign it, come right back to me just as quickly as possible. And we get the paperwork done. And in a contract, you have a timeline of when you have to get things done. There's a certain amount of days for inspection, for all your inspections, for your termites, your pool inspection, your house inspection, these things. And I can guide you along and keep you on contract, keep you in contract so that you don't breach your contract, which that we don't ever want that to happen. And there's timelines that things need to be done and done on time. So that's one thing that I do for you. And I am always here to support you. I can't make decisions for you, but I can support you and show you and navigate, give you all of your options, everything you need to know when making one of the biggest decisions of your life, and it's buying a house. So let's move on to the next reason why you should hire a buyer's agent and how to hire the right buyer agent for you. So now that you know you need a buyer's agent, let's talk about finding the right one. Here are 3 steps. Do your research, ask the right questions, interviews. How familiar are you with the neighborhoods? How do you handle negotiations? That's a good question. One tip I'd like to give is the reason you need a buyer's agent. If you go to an open house or if you call the sign in the yard and you call the agent that's listed on the sign in the yard, that agent does not work on your behalf. That agent works on behalf of the seller in an open house and when you just call off the sign. It's best to have someone in your corner to tell you everything you need to know about the buying process and getting the best deal for you. So that's my tip. Always have someone on your side where there's someone else on the other side. You have someone on the selling side and someone on the buying side as well. That's what we need to know. But how do you hire an agent? Well, you can do your research. You can Google people. You know, I've got a Google ad page. I've got this living in Memphis in the MidSouth. You can get to know me that way. That would be great. But ask your friends, ask family, ask people. Go to real estate websites and look for people in your area, in the area that you want to live in. And you want to ask your agent how familiar they are with the area and how they handle negotiations and what's their availability. And you want to be prepared as well. So you're hiring a best friend for 30, 45 days. So you're going to be building a relationship with that person. It'll be a totally, business relationship, but my job is to educate you. I have a duty to the National Association of Realtors, NAR, and we are bound by a code of ethics. And so we follow a code of ethics to make the buying process smoother for you. We also inform the buyer and disclose any known or latent materials, any defects with the property that we know. We work in coordination with all of your lenders, your attorneys, and your inspectors to make sure that everything is running smoothly in the right time frame. Now again, I can't make decisions for you. I can't tell you what to offer on a house. I can't tell you a number. I can't tell you any of these questions. I'm gonna get into that in a video in a few minutes. What are questions that real estate professionals cannot answer by law? So there's a whole video on that. I'm gonna come up and do that one. But as far as educating the buyer and getting you prepared, we're going to get you into the right local lender and the right attorney, get you into the house that you can afford. And so you're not house poor, that's buying over your means. We don't want ever to do that. So that's part of my fiduciary duty as well, to make sure that you're not buying above your means. So I'll explain to you everything I know publicly and privately by talking to the other agent, find out everything there is to know about this house, about this neighborhood, and you will do your due diligence as well. You will check with the local fire department and the police station and go on Google and niche.com and all these other websites. There's so much information out there about neighborhoods, and it is easily able to find. And if you can't find it, I'll give you some help trying to find that information out, because I live in my neighborhood. I know my neighborhood, but I don't live in all these neighborhoods. And yes, I've sold houses in many of them. My clients seem to be okay, but what I feel is safe and what you feel is safe, completely different situation. And it's not about me, it's about you. And it's always about you. This whole process is about the buyer. and it's about what you need, want, what you're comfortable with, and everything else that goes along with that in buying a house. All right, so I'm gonna educate you, I'm gonna prepare you by getting you ready with your lender, and then we're gonna show some properties, and we always respect the seller. The seller wants your shoes taken off, we'll do that. I've got shoe covers, that's not a big deal. We wanna respect the property, turn lights on, and look at the house, really look at the house. You can open cabinets, you can go into these places, you can turn the water on. We're not gonna talk about anything in the house. We don't talk about furniture, we don't talk about pictures, we don't talk about who lives there. Hopefully the seller has done their part and they have already removed their personal pictures or their personal identity to their football teams and all this kind of stuff. They've already made the house as equal, plain, available to all buyers. And we don't want a buyer that, went to LSU and all you have is Alabama merchandise throughout the house. So that may turn off a buyer or potential money in your pocket, seller. I'll show you as many houses to see, but I want you to take notes and I want you to look at them. And if you're not really ready, you're never going to be ready. There's always going to be another house out there. There's always going to be a better one around the corner. I have buyers that I've shown houses for years. They're just not ready. They're not ready to make the move, and that's okay. They're still friends of mine. We still see houses every now and then, and I don't mind. However, I would like them to buy a house one day. That would be good. We're going to check zoning restrictions, what's coming up, what's going to be built around here. Is there big things coming in the neighborhood? Are new hospitals, new animal shelters, new paving on the roads? What's happening? So I can really help you with all of those types of things. I can tell you the public tax information, what the taxes were last year. We don't know what they're going to be next year, but I can give you an idea based on the local history. So in negotiating offers, we talk about contingencies. Buyer is contingent upon getting the house through a lender. Well, if the lender can't finance you, then that's a contingency that's failed and the contract's over. I'm gonna explain to you how to make an offer and not insult a seller and yet make you feel like you've put your best foot forward and you're getting the deal that you want. So that's part of the negotiations. So we'll walk you through all of the stages of the contract and what's going on, whether it's the appraisal time, whether it's the inspection time, whether it's the lending time, closing, title insurance, all these things. I keep you on a schedule and get you all the way to the closing table so you can get those keys and then go buy your furniture, then go buy your new car. After you've closed on your house, then you can make bad financial decisions, but don't make those financial decisions in this 30, 45 day time frame while you're under contract with buying a house. That is the worst thing. You could really pick yourself out of buying a house if you make other financial decisions while you are under contract getting ready to move. And moving is so stressful and it's so exciting and it's a big financial opportunity in your life to create generational wealth. So that's one of the things I like to say with buyers. Always buy a house. It's paying your mortgage is actually paying yourself. Paying rent is paying someone else's mortgage and making them rich. So that's what I like to say about buying a house. We're going to talk about how to hire the right agent. So, you can research agents. If you don't know any in the area, just Google agents in the area and then read their reviews. Reviews are good. They'll give you the honest dealings. Some reviews, you could get a bad review. Not everybody is going to work well with everybody. That doesn't mean that agent is a bad person or a bad realtor at all by any means. It just means that someone didn't have that good relationship building at the beginning of the process. And you need that relationship building at the beginning so that you can work really well together with somebody. That's so important. That's, being someone's best friend every 30 days is kind of fun for everybody. So that's why I said you want to look for the chemistry in a person. You really want to make sure you can get along with that person and work well with them, whether it's the chemistry, the humor, the education, the knowledge, whatever you need your buyer to represent you, you need to have that in that person. And then ask the questions. How familiar are you with the area? That's a good question to ask a realtor. They should know the ins and outs of the neighborhood, the area that they sell in. I don't sell the whole country. I just sell a little bit of 2 states. I can just sell a little bit. So I know what's happening in Memphis and the Mid-South. I don't necessarily know what's happening in Atlanta. I don't know anything about those things. And I haven't been in every house, but I will do everything I can to make sure I give you all the information you need when purchasing your house. And what's my availability for showings? What's my schedule like? But mostly I want to know what your schedule's like. I don't want to be bothering you when you're working, when you're, traveling, when you're, living your life as you're buying the house. We need to make these arrangements before time. Unless something really serious happens, we would need to make sure that I'm contacting you at a reasonable hour. Here's another pro tip. Always work with a realtor, not a doctor, or a realtor, it's realtor. Always work with a realtor. A realtor is a member of the National Association of Realtors and is bound and obligated by the National Realtors Code of Ethics. So a little bit more upstanding of a trademark behind their name. A realtor. Buying a house is one of your biggest financial decisions that you'll ever make. Having the right buyer agent on your side can make the world of difference, and it could possibly save you thousands of dollars in the long run. So if you're thinking about buying a house in Memphis or the Mid-South, I'd love to be your realtor. I'd love to walk with you through the buying process, and we can make your Memphis dream a reality. So if you find this video helpful and you send it to a friend, tap subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. You'll be the first to know everything there is and see all my new videos. The next one I'm doing, fair housing. If you want to look at fair housing, that's going to be a great video too. So hire a buyer's agent on your side, and the time and could save you thousands of dollars just by using someone that can negotiate the real estate business for you. Thanks for watching. I'll be happy to see you in my next video. And until then, happy house hunting at living in Memphis in the Mid-South.